and apparently it's an unreported stolen. So what that means is that the rightful owner of the vehicle started chasing his own vehicle when he saw that somebody took it. And it was apparently it hadn't been reported to police yet, so they hadn't even called it into the police when they spotted their own stolen vehicle. So that is at the point at which the owner called police and CHP got behind it. And as far as we know, they've been chasing it from the Newhall area. That's when we first heard about it. So very close to the 5 and the 14 there in the Newhall Pass. It has since been on this southbound 5 now, making its way through Sun Valley and going to be here in Burbank very soon. CHP behind this one with ground units as well as a police helicopter overhead. Yeah, so it does have that smaller container, not the big ones that we're used to seeing, but it's about half the size of what we typically see. But it could very well have something inside, and we're just not sure what that may be. We're just getting a little more information on the scanner. Perhaps the rightful owner knows what is in that container and will let the CHP know. But for now, this has been relatively a slow speed pursuit, all things considered, because of the size of the vehicle. Top speeds that we've heard have been about 80 miles an hour. And again, we've only heard it on the southbound 5 freeway. Unknown number of occupants, though. But what we're getting now from our assignment desk is that this big rig was stolen out of Bakersfield. So this has likely been going on for quite some time. Yeah, so we're in Burbank. We're right at the Burbank Boulevard exit, so right next to the Burbank Town Center. And at this time of night, there really isn't too much in the way of traffic through this area. But as he continues southbound on the 5, that's where we do start to see some Caltrans work. And because it is Wednesday, we definitely will expect to see that, especially closer to the East LA interchange. There's typically construction work there every night. But in terms of traffic, at least at this time of the night, he's really not going to encounter too much. And fortunately, with that police helicopter light overhead and those units behind this vehicle, it is very obvious to all of the other motorists that this is a pursuit. Correct, and it seems like he may have a little bit of a stability issue, Colleen, and I'm not sure why. You can kind of see him kind of shaking a little bit, so unclear what that's about. I can't imagine that he's having any issues with the actual vehicle. These cars have so many tires that even if one tire went flat, it would still be able to cruise along just fine. The longest pursuit I ever covered was a big rig pursuit, and that lasted about 12 hours because as the CHP continued to throw out spike strips and spike the tires, it still took them literally all night to get the vehicle to finally come to a stop. A chase that I remember started all the way in LA County, ended somewhere in Orange County. So this is a chase that could very well go on for a very long time because of the amount of fuel that these vehicles carry, of course, and again, the number of tires that are involved. Yeah, definitely not a pit because of the size of the vehicle, but the spike strip, definitely a possibility, especially since he's been on the 5 freeway pretty much this entire time. So he's pretty predictable in terms of what freeway he's going to be on, what lane he's going to be in, though that can vary a little bit. But of course, they could lay spike strips out across the entire freeway, and of course, he's guaranteed to run over that. But again, with as many tires as big rigs have, it would still take a long time to bring things to a stop. Yeah, so he's coming up to that right now, and because he's staying to the left, that's going to keep him on the 5. But he still has a last-second opportunity here to move over because he's right at Western. So if he wants to get on that 134, he just needs to hop over about one lane to the right, which is pretty much where he's at now. So we'll see what he does. For now, it does look like he's staying on that southbound 5 here, coming through Glendale. Yeah, so that was the CHP. Yeah, correct. Yeah, so they were essentially just trying to hold back traffic because they, of course, know that the vehicle is coming this way. So they were trying to keep cars at least away from him a little bit because you'll notice there really aren't any cars anywhere around him. And let me widen out. I want to show you where the nearest cruisers are, and then we can also count how many are involved. So I'm seeing at least 4 units here of the California Highway Patrol and, of course, the police helicopter overhead. Oh, there we go. He's going to lose. Oh, I was sure he was going to flip there. Yeah, it looks like he's hopping on the 134. Made a last minute or last second change there from the 5 South to the 134. So it looks like he is committed 134 East. Yeah, so going to go eastbound here from the 5. So this is going to put him in Glendale. So it'll be Glendale. Eventually, we'll get over to Eagle Rock if he continues this way. And the 134 does come to an end at the 210 right next to the Rose Bowl. So that'll force him on to the 210. But, of course, he's able to exit at any time. And we're saying we at this point don't really have any information to lead us to believe whether the driver is a man or a woman or how many people may be inside. But, again, this vehicle stolen out of Bakersfield, a big rig, of course, unreported stolen. So the rightful owner of the vehicle hadn't even had a chance to call it into police before the pursuit began. Absolutely. It does take, as you said, a special license, special training. It's not easy. It is huge. And, of course, whoever took it has that capability. And in the time that we've been overhead, it does appear like they're driving relatively well. There was that little stretch there back in Burbank where it seemed like he was losing a little bit of stability, but that almost seemed intentional because it seems like, for the most part, he's been able to drive this just fine. Yeah, there has been, Colleen, and I'm just looking up ahead off the nose of the helicopter, and as far as I can see pretty much to the merger with the 210. All of that looks open tonight, but beyond that, I can't really see the 210 itself, but at least this portion of the 134 looks like it's going to be open. And of course, I can't leave out the 2 freeway because we do come up to that first before he even gets a chance to get over to the 210. So we'll see if by any chance he decides to pick up the 2. If he does, then that gives him a few options. The 2 could lead him up to the 210 if he goes north. If he goes south on the 2, it's going to lead him down at the 5. So that's coming up very soon here on the 134. Yeah, it's unclear when it was stolen, but the information we're getting now from our assignment desk, and they're in communication with the California Highway Patrol about this, the big rig was stolen from a gas station in Bakersfield. And of course, the rightful owner saw it being stolen, and somehow they were either able to jump in another vehicle and chase the car or just call police at that point, and that's when the police pursuit began. So all the way from Bakersfield down the I-5 until he made that last second change here to get on the 134 where we find ourselves now here, 134 at the 2. Yeah, that's correct. That's the information that we're getting also from our assignment desk, is at this point it's unknown if that person is armed, if it was some sort of carjacking, for example, or if he just simply saw an opportunity. The keys were in the vehicle and he jumped in and took off. And of course, it's unclear what may be in that container, if that has any sort of value to this person, and that's the reason they took it. Or again, if it was simply just, right place, right time to commit a crime and they just jumped in and took off. Yeah, I think he squeezed him over to the side just a little bit. Unfortunately, that big rig driver, the other big rig driver, was able to safely move over to the right, which is actually exactly what you want to do in these types of situations. If you ever do encounter a police pursuit and it's coming your way, you don't want to get involved. A lot of the time, we have seen people try to do that, and of course, that's not what you want to do. You're not specially trained to do that. So you want to try to move over safely over to the right, let the pursuit go by, and then merge over when you can. Yeah, slowing down a little bit because of that slight incline here. So we're clocking him at about high 50s, low 60s on the speedometer as he continues eastbound here on the 134 coming into Eagle Rock. And if you'll pardon me, Colleen, just for about 30 seconds, I have to switch hilltops here, but we'll be back with you in just a moment. NOC, I'm switching over to Wilson now. No, I hear it. I think they don't have my audio. Colleen, do you hear me? Okay, great, awesome. So as you were saying, we're right at the 134 and the 210. We're not quite to the 210, but we are making that merge here very soon. So coming through Eagle Rock, going to be entering Pasadena here very soon. And of course, he has the opportunity to get off at any point, but at this point, it does appear that he is fully committed to continue here through the Pasadena area on the 210 as he completes the transition. Yeah, let me widen out and take a quick look because it actually looks like the freeway in front of him is pretty wide open. So the little stretch that I can see here near the bridge looks like it is, for the most part, some smaller vehicles, but really nothing in the way of traffic. So this guy's getting really lucky in that sense. But the speeds here not incredibly fast either as he completes the transition here. CHP not giving him too much in the way of room. They're still very close behind. Airship still overhead. And again, in terms of what they can do to bring this guy to a stop, they still have spike strips as a possibility. Pit maneuver not going to be an option, but continuing here, 134 east, merging onto the 210. Correct. Stolen from a gas station in Bakersfield, and the owner saw it happen. They either jumped in somebody else's car and gave chase, or they called it in at that point because it was an unreported stolen, was what we heard it come across on the scanner, which means they hadn't even been called in officially to the police. So usually when you call in a stolen car, it gets put into a system so that if that vehicle is spotted anywhere else, then police are able to pull the vehicle over. But in this case, they didn't even have time for that. Literally, they just saw it stolen. They called police, and police started following it. All the way from Bakersfield, as far as we know, he was on the South 5 the entire time. We picked it up on the South 5 through Sun Valley, and he was on that 5 until he got on the 134, and now the 210 East coming through Pasadena. Okay, copy. Yeah, it was the same movement we saw before, which was really interesting to me because it's not clear why that is happening. It seems very intentional, though, if I had to say, because the vehicle itself looks like it's perfectly fine. All the tires look great, but it's something we noticed on the South 5, and then now here on the 210, where the vehicle looks to be slightly unsteady, but it does look like perhaps he's just moving the steering wheel left and right real quick and causing that instability. Copy. I don't have their IFB yet. Yeah, so slowing down just a bit here as they come through Pasadena. NOC, can you reset the IFB? Got it, thank you. Telemundo, I'm ready. Enrique, y esta es una persecución que empezó en Bakersfield y el carro es robado, es un camión robado. La persecución empezó hace bastante tiempo porque la distancia desde aquí y a Bakersfield será mínimo 1 hora, posiblemente hasta más, dependiendo de las velocidades y el tráfico en el área. Pero esta persecución empezó en Bakersfield. El conductor se montó a la autopista 5 en dirección sur y estuvo en la autopista 5 la mayoría del tiempo hasta que se salió en la autopista 134 en dirección este y ahora en la autopista 210 en dirección este también, donde se encuentra ahora en la ciudad de Pasadena, cerca de la salida de la avenida Hill. Al momento se desconoce si el conductor es un hombre o una mujer, o si esa persona posiblemente está armada o si posiblemente hay otras personas adentro del vehículo, pero por ahora la persecución continúa a velocidades no muy altas, como pueden ver, aproximadamente 50 millas por hora aquí en la autopista 210 en dirección este, con varias patrullas de la Patrulla de Caminos de California persiguiendo el vehículo. Al momento puedo contar por lo menos 4 patrullas y un motociclista de la policía junto con el helicóptero de la policía también aquí en Pasadena. And thank you to everyone who continues to join us here online. This police pursuit continues here eastbound on the 210 freeway coming through Pasadena. So my pilot Sargar Betian here at the controls of News Chopper 4, maneuvering us around because we are actually encountering a little bit of a low marine layer coming through this area. So the clouds are pretty thick here just to our south. But this pursuit making its way eastbound on the 210 in Pasadena. The 210 freeway, that runs for a very long time. So we'll see if he stays on that or takes on any of the freeways that cross with it, like the 57 or the 605. The 710 technically doesn't really connect as it becomes the street and then the freeway. So for now, fully committed here. Top speeds, all things considered, compared to what we've seen him go at before. So he's about 70 miles an hour or so. Coming through Arcadia now. If you're just joining us, this is a pursuit that started in Bakersfield. It started at a gas station when whoever's driving this vehicle jumped in and took off, and it does not belong to them. The rightful owner actually saw it happen. They either called it into police. Hello, Sue. Do you have us back yet? Thank you. Hey, back with you guys here. We were just taking care of a little microwave hilltop issue there. But the pursuit continues here in Arcadia. We're eastbound on the 210, coming up to Huntington Drive. Now, in terms of traffic, it just looks great up ahead. I'm not seeing anything. It looks like he may be moving over to the right, perhaps. No, he tricked me there. It looked like maybe he was trying to exit, but it's going to continue eastbound on the 210. Again, there's a lot of heavy clouds through here, but it looks like he's going to clear most of them here very soon as he approaches the first freeway that we come up to, which is going to be the 605. So at this point, because of the lane that he's in, he is committed to the 210. And if you're just joining us, again, this is a pursuit that started in Bakersfield. It started at a gas station. It came out as an unreported stolen. So what that means is that the vehicle hadn't even had a chance to make it into the database that a stolen car will go into, which I believe is actually the DOJ list, I want to say. No, Department of Justice. Yeah, Department of DOJ, Department of Justice list. And so whenever you report a vehicle stolen, it goes onto that list. So if any other police agency sees that vehicle, it sees your plate, then when they run it, then it would come back as a stolen, and then they could try to recover your vehicle. In this case, it didn't even have a chance for any of that to happen because the rightful owner of the vehicle either saw it taken and called it in, or jumped into a friend's car and chased it and got police behind it. So that's how it became an unreported stolen. And the pursuit made its way southbound on the 5 till it got to the 134 in Glendale, got on the 134 east to the 210 west, or 210 east, where we find ourselves now. So he really hasn't been on too many freeways, but when he does get on a freeway, he's fully committed to it. He stays on it for a while. And the other thing of note is this person, probably has some experience driving big rigs. It's not like driving a regular car. You do need a special license. It just requires a little more skill. And so it's interesting that this person, of course, has that capability. So unknown what their background may be or why they took this big rig. It's unclear if it was simply a crime of opportunity where they saw the vehicle running and just jumped in and took it, or if it's a situation where perhaps they know what's in the container and they're looking to get that. So either way, it's still unclear, but again, unknown number of occupants, unknown if the driver is a man or a woman. But we're continuing eastbound on the 210 freeway, now entering Duarte. And thank you to all of our followers and viewers who are staying up late with us as we follow this pursuit. I am getting your messages on X, so thank you for that. Russell Miller, thank you for watching. Of course, our friend Rob Emery. And our other devoted follower, David Saldivar, who always messages us as well. Thank you for watching with us on this late night chase here, eastbound on the 210 freeway, coming through Irwindale. The last couple of days had been kind of quiet for us here in the helicopter because of the weather. We were grounded for a few days, and then we had a presidential TFR as well that ended today in the afternoon. So we're finally back in the air, and of course, no worries there. We're finally back in the air here, and of course, we get a big rig pursuit. So the agency on this one is going to be CHP. The CHP here in California, for those of you who are following us from outside of the state, is California Highway Patrol. So they are the police of our freeways. So they, of course, are going to be best equipped to follow a chase that is on the freeway. So we're on the 210 East, coming into Irwindale. There's the train. That's kind of funny, kind of pacing the train there for a sec. We're coming through Irwindale. For those of you who are watching us from outside of our area, you might not know this, but Irwindale is where most of the Rose Parade floats are built. So that's a fun little fact for you. As we continue here, eastbound 210, getting in the carpool lane, kind of. He's kind of straddling the number 1 and the carpool lane. And again, it's unclear what's in that container. It's a smaller container. It's not one of the larger ones, the full-size ones. A lot of the time, big rig drivers don't even know what's in their container. They go to the port, they line up, and then they get a container put on their vehicle, and then they go and they deliver it. So they don't always know what they're carrying. So in this case, we actually don't know what's in there either. The driver, the rightful owner of the vehicle may know, and I'm sure they've communicated that information with the CHP, but it hasn't made its way down to us just yet. But what we do know is, again, that this was taken out of Bakersfield from a gas station, and has been a pursuit now for quite some time, because if you've ever made that drive, it's pretty far, especially with traffic. At this time of the night, there really isn't any traffic, so that, of course, sped things up. But left Bakersfield, made its way southbound on the 5 into LA County, where we find ourselves now, coming through the city of Azusa. So a little bit more of that marine layer. Once we get past these clouds, it does look like it's going to clear up quite a bit, unless he goes south. If he goes south, it is still cloudy, but if he stays eastbound on the 210, then it'll still look a little more clear. Now, I'm just real quickly going to say a few words for our sister station Telemundo before resuming our coverage in English. Buenas noches una vez más desde el helicóptero. Yo soy Eliana Moreno reportando sobre una persecución policíaca que se encuentra en el área de Azusa, en la autopista 210 en dirección este, acercándose a la avenida Citrus. Esta es la patrulla de caminos de California que está persiguiendo a este vehículo robado. Es un camión que fue robado de el área de Bakersfield hacia el norte, en el condado de Kern County. Y es una persecución que continuó en la autopista 5 en dirección sur hasta llegar a la autopista 134 en dirección este, y después la autopista 210 en dirección este, donde nos encontramos ahora. Cerca de la avenida Citrus, y como pueden ver, apenas acabamos de pasar la calle Grand. La patrulla de caminos de California tiene cuatro vehículos del departamento detrás del vehículo, junto con el helicóptero de la policía también. Esa es una persecución que ya lleva bastante tiempo, mínimo una hora, pero no me sorprendería si ya han sido varias horas, considerando la distancia de aquí hasta Bakersfield y si el conductor tuvo tráfico en la autopista cuando se montó en Bakersfield y se montó a la autopista 5 en dirección sur. Por ahora las velocidades no son muy altas, aproximadamente de 60 a 70 millas por hora, continuando hacia el este en la autopista 210. Reportando desde Glendora, desde el helicóptero, Eliana Moreno, del Mundo 52. ahead, Jack. Back with you guys here as the chase comes up to the 57 freeway. So this is the 210 at the 57, continuing to the east. Looks like he's committed onto that 210, so we're going to stay on that. I do see some CHP units up ahead in the distance, several miles out, so they may perhaps just be trying to get other vehicles out of the way. Looks like he's moving over to the right. This might set him up to exit. Still got a long ways to go, though, before an exit comes up. But so moving over to the right, we're right at the 210 and the 57 here in San Dimas. Once again, thank you to everyone who is staying up late to watch along with us. Special thanks to our friend Scott and his dog Spud. Thanks, guys, for watching. We appreciate it. I know it's late. So big rigs, they have a lot of fuel. If you're fueled up, but this vehicle was taken from a gas station, so it's unclear what point in the refueling process it was in when it was taken. Did they have a full tank already, or were they just about to get fuel? So that's unclear. So it's unclear how long he can last based off of fuel alone. But normally they could last a very long time. The longest chase I ever covered involving a big rig lasted 12 hours. I remember it. I can't remember if it started in Ventura or LA County, but made its way into Ventura, if I recall, and then back through LA County, and then made its way into Orange County, where it finally ended down there. I want to say it ended in Santa Ana, which then became a big rig barricade. That's what I want to say. Oh, going around another big rig, a slower moving big rig. So coming through Laverne now, I am hearing that a sheriff's unit of San Bernardino is coming this way to try to intercept it, because if he continues going this way, if he continues going in that way, which would be out to the IE, then sheriff's units out there or the CHP out there can take over. So coming through Laverne, again, this is a unreported stolen, which basically means it was stolen, but the owner didn't have enough time to even report it stolen to the police before the chase began. Let's see, we're seeing 3 units, 4 units of the CHP. There was a motorcycle in the chase earlier. Here's another 2 units. So now a total of 5 units from what I can see. I'm not seeing the motor unit anymore, but there was a motor unit back there earlier. Picking up just a little bit of speed, but not too much. Really the fastest speeds we've seen are about 80 miles an hour. So back with you guys here, we were just trying to figure out our field situation here. Apparently he hit a spike strip and it was successful. So that is why we're starting to see a little bit of smoke, it looks like, coming from the big rig. We're at the 210 freeway at baseline. Yeah, I think he's losing a tire there. That's why we're seeing some of the smoke. But there you go. There's the front tire. See you later. Down to the rim. So now we will have some sparks flying here. At least I anticipate. Okay, there you go. You'll see the sparks there. So Sarah was trying to get us a little bit closer so we can see that tire a little bit better. But yeah, this was a result of a successful spike strip. Ripped that tire apart and is now down to the rim. But of course, big rigs have a lot of tires. So as I was referring back to the only other big rig chase that I can remember lasted a really long time that I covered was that 12-hour one. And by the time it was done, I mean, the guy had no tires left. Yes, we see it, Jack. Thank you. So he ended up losing all the tires, but was still able to go a really long time. But yeah, there's just the faintest amount of sparks there. You'll have to look closely on the driver's side. Front tire. Very faint there, but it's because he's down to the rim on that side. Still trucking along here, though. Let me get out of my doubler there so it won't be so dark. About 30 miles an hour here, making his way eastbound still on the 210, coming into Upland. So slowing down just a touch. You'll see a little bit of smoke there. Now, I don't know if the spike got more than one tire. We know it got at least one from what we can tell. Got both front tires, Saro is hearing. We haven't been able to see the other side, but yeah, it looks like he got that spike strip just a few miles back. Did affect both of the front tires, so that is why he is slowing down. The tires on the trailer are still fine, but the cab there is the part that's affected. So we're just going to see chunks of tires flying everywhere. Okay, so we're 210 at Mountain Avenue in the Upland area. Not a fast-moving chase, that's for sure. We're at about 20 miles an hour. If I get fortunate enough, I might be able to see the driver. When the light from the helicopter hits him just fine, I can kind of see inside. He realizes he can't control this thing, so it's just a matter of time till he gives up. Still got the CHP cruisers in trail. We got the police helicopter overhead. still near Mountain Avenue on the eastbound 210. If you're just joining us, though, again, this is a unreported stolen out of Bakersfield, taken from a gas station. The owner either saw it happen or somehow was able to call police before it was even inputted into the stolen vehicle system. And they gave chase on the southbound 5 to the 134 to the 210, where we find ourselves now here coming through Upland. So made our way from Bakersfield into LA County, and now in the city of Upland, continuing at slow speeds here eastbound on the 210. And for my scanner hounds who like to follow along on the scanner, I'm hearing it on Blue 3. So the Southern Division Blue 3, if you want to listen to that, that's CHP. Nice. So again, there was a successful spike strip a few miles back. That flattened both of the two front tires, so he's down to the rim on those. The rest seem fine, but he's kind of snaking his way on the freeway here, kind of left and right. Really having issues controlling the vehicle. And we're going to stay on this as long as we can. Won't be too much longer, of course, because of our fuel situation. But for now, the chase continues at about 20 miles an hour here, 210 East at Mountain Avenue. Hello to our friends. We got a shout out from Bakersfield, where this all began. Julio Cesar Cabello. Thank you, Julio, for watching. Of course, thank you also to our friend Rob Bizzle for watching as well. And how could I forget Lyndon Brown watching us from San Diego. So we have viewers here from all over the Southern California area. I know we also have some out-of-state viewers. So thank you guys for watching. I know it's late, especially for all of you who are watching us from another state. This guy's not giving up, though. Trekking along here at about 40 miles an hour, so picking up a little bit of speed. So we're going to start to see some more sparks flying from those front tires. We're on the driver's side, but what we're hearing is that the passenger side also lost the tire on that side. So sparks from both sides. Picking up speed. 210 East at Campus Avenue. There you go. Okay, going under, that should be Euclid. The tires are just shredding apart. There's the sparks. I'm actually going to take the map off here for just a second. I'm just going to do it regular because I do feel like it improves the quality of the picture. So you'll get a better vantage point here of the sparks and the fact that that tire is long gone. And of course, the instability of the vehicle. So we're still in Upland. It's taking a while to get through Upland because he's not going that fast. Okay, there's another CHP unit joining the party here. Get out of my doublers. so still counting about 5 units of the CHP. We got the police helicopter overhead, and you'll remember that there's a helicopter coming out of San Bernardino to join the pursuit as well, since the chase apparently is going that way. Started in Bakersfield, made its way through LA County, and now we are in lovely Rancho Cucamonga. Copy that, Jack. Yeah, I took it off just momentarily, just to improve the picture a little bit. Okay, continuing eastbound on the 210 at Carnelian. So we are in Rancho Cucamonga. Look at that. All those sparks flying from the passenger side of the vehicle on the front there. Almost looks like flames, it's so hot. Now, I remember not that long ago, it was sometime last year, I want to say, my colleague Roland Spruill in the morning, he covered a big rig pursuit. I believe it was a pursuit. And then eventually, I think a similar situation like this occurred, and the big rig actually completely caught fire, shutting down the 5 freeway for quite some time. We may be witnessing something very similar to that tonight if this continues. Okay, finally pulling over here. Of course, the big rig's on fire, and he's going to park next to the brush. Why wouldn't he? This is going to catch that hill on fire, too. I just hope he gets out. There he goes. Thank you for listening, sir. He is out of the vehicle, running up the embankment here, trying to get away. He realized the vehicle was catching fire, and he's trying to run for it, but he won't get very far. He's right about the center of my shot. A little bit difficult to see because it's dark. I'll throw it in the infrared if I have to. There he goes. So he's running. Gonna come across the gate. Jumping over it, but the police helicopter, of course, clearly sees him. He has the night sun on him. Trying to run for it on Hermosa Avenue and Finch here in the Rancho Cucamonga area. He can try to run, but police are close. The helicopter is not going to lose him. Apparently running towards what appears to be a home. Obviously has no connection with this property. It's simply because this is where the big rig ended up. So again, Post Place at Black Oak Street is the area. So if you're a resident here in the neighborhood, you're definitely going to want to keep your windows and doors closed. It is a cold night, but just in case you had any of those opened, he's making his way here through the apartment complex in Rancho Cucamonga. He's just on the other side of that tree. So Saro's bringing the helicopter around near the pool area between this building. There we go. I saw him enter the back. So he's in the back area. Coming out again. Trying to take other vehicles. I don't think he's going to get that lucky, at least not twice in one day. He was able to take that big rig from Bakersfield earlier tonight at a gas station. There's what I believe is a police officer. Yeah, it looks like a CHP uniform. So running behind him. This isn't going to last much longer. He's losing steam. There's a CHP officer with his taser in hand, trying to get him in custody. So just on the other side of this building, between that tree and the fence, I see additional officers coming to the scene. We will likely have an arrest here momentarily. There we go, there it is. So you can just make out the flashlights there, but between that building and the fence is where this man is being taken into custody. I want to get a quick look at him, and then we'll move our attention back to the big rig, which is likely still on fire. It is. Okay, so yeah, Sorrow says he sees that it's on fire. I just want to catch one glimpse of this guy in custody. Let's take the map off here. We don't need that anymore. Okay, there he is. Yep. Kinda, yeah. Okay, so he's right there. We'll wait till he comes out, but in the meantime, I just want to focus our attention over here on the big rig. So again, this is going to be 210 Archibald Avenue in Rancho Cucamonga. Just had an explosion there. Probably the gas tank or one of the tires blown. So this is in the eastbound lanes of the 210. And the CHP, of course, they were already here, so they're going to hold back traffic to keep other vehicles and drivers away. Part of the brush is starting to catch fire here. This is going to bring out the fire department, of course. And so we'll just get a few seconds here of this fire. Big rig on fire here, eastbound 210 in Rancho Cucamonga. We, of course, thank you all for staying up late and watching along with us. I know it's already past midnight. Special thanks to our followers, LA Police Chase Group. I know you guys were following along with us, so thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone who tuned in for the NBC4 newscast at 11 o'clock, which of course rolled into this pursuit. And we'll have more on this chase on Today in LA tomorrow morning, so we hope you can tune in for that. From News Chopper 4, I'm Leona Marino, alongside my pilot Sarah Garbetian. Thank you very much for watching, and have a good night.
To watch more heart-stopping car chases happening across Southern California, subscribe here. Thanks for watching. The Chase is on.